Good morning, boys and girls. I'm so glad that you've joined us again today. My name is Miss Kim, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm so excited to tell you our Bible story today. But before I do, I wanted to show you this very special necklace of mine. This necklace was given to me by a very good friend of mine. She and I love to spend time together. We take walks together. We talk on the phone now. We used to talk over dinner together, and we will again one day. But we love to talk and visit with each other. Well, our Bible story today is about two men who were friends. And these two men were taking a walk, and they were leaving Jerusalem, and they were walking to another village, their home. So as they were walking, I need to tell you that it was 3 days after Jesus was crucified on the cross. That's when they were walking back home from Jerusalem. So as they were walking back home, they were talking about all the things that had happened. I'm sure there was a lot of sadness, and there was a lot of confusion. While they were walking, another man joined them. Guess what, boys and girls? It was Jesus. He joined them, but their eyes couldn't see him as Jesus. Now, when he walked up to them, he said, "What are you two talking about?" Well, one of the men named Cleopas looked at him and said, "Are you the only man in Jerusalem who doesn't know what happened?" And Jesus said, "Tell me what happened." And they both started telling Jesus. They said, Jesus came to earth to tell us all about God. He did many miracles. We even thought he was going to be our Messiah. But they've killed him, and he's on the cross, and we don't know what to think about that. And then just this morning, some women told us that they went to his tomb where he was buried and that he was gone. So some have said he's alive again. We just don't know what to believe. Well, then Jesus began talking to them, and he told them about all the things that God said would happen. You remember how we talked a couple of weeks ago about the Old Testament that whispers Jesus is coming? Well, in the Old Testament, it tells everything that was going to happen to Jesus. And so, Jesus began explaining all of those things to them. By the time they were done talking, they were in their village of Emmaus, and it was getting dark because they had walked all day. And they asked Jesus to join them for supper. So he did. And when he sat down with them, my Bible says that he broke the bread and he said the blessing. And when he did this, their eyes were opened, and they saw it was Jesus that had been with them the whole time. And then he was gone. Well, they looked at each other and said, "We have to get back to Jerusalem because we have to tell everybody Jesus is alive. We've seen him. We've talked to him. We've walked with him. Jesus is alive." And they walked all the way back. It was 7 miles. I bet they were tired, but they were so excited. They walked all the way back, and they told the disciples that they had seen Jesus. Indeed, he was alive. Now, the Bible tells us a lot of people got to see Jesus after he was raised from the dead, after his tomb was empty, after he had died on the cross, because God brought him back to life again. There are more than 500 people who got to see Jesus after he was dead and after he came back to life. It's so exciting. Boys and girls, do you know that you can tell people that Jesus is alive? We just had Easter. And at Easter, we learned that Jesus' tomb was empty. God brought him back to life. Who can you tell? Would you like to tell a grandma or a grandpa or a friend on the telephone? Maybe you'll tell a brother or a sister. You can tell anyone you want. Jesus is alive. Our Bible verse says that God, let me find it here, that God loved us, the world, and he gave his son to us. John 3:16. You want to say that with me? God loved the world. Not just me, and not just you. He loved everyone. And he sent his son. He gave his son to us. We can tell everybody, God loves you. He gave his son to you, and Jesus is alive. Boys and girls, thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you tell somebody that Jesus is alive. Bye-bye.